So the insurance company will just compensate the loss, but there is no aspect of investment in both fire insurance and marine insurance. So suppose there is any damage to the property which we own for the business or even for our personal property, then this insurance cover will help us to tide over the financial loss. It will be shared among all the policy holders. So the insurance company will be collecting premium from all the policy holders who have just enrolled with the insurance company. Hello everyone, I am Purnima, faculty in the Department of Commerce, Vidhyaashram Pre-University College, Temple of Excellence. In this session 2 on Chapter 4, I will be having a discussion on what is insurance, what are the different types of insurance, principles of insurance, and also what is warehousing. Now, let us look into what is the meaning of the word insurance. But before looking into insurance, let us have an understanding of why do we need insurance. So, we all are exposed to various types of dangers and perils. So, if you are starting a business, then they will have the risk of losing the money. Then, if you own a property, you will have the risk of losing property because of damage to the property. And also, the human life is also very, very uncertain. So, we don't know at what time we will have to experience death. So, in the face of all these uncertainties, there is a financial loss also. So, to just mitigate this financial loss or to just lessen the burden of financial loss, there is a need for insurance. So, suppose there is any damage to the property which we own for the business or even for our personal property, then this insurance cover will help us to tide over the financial loss. So, whether it is life insurance or if it is any other type of general insurance also, this insurance is trying to just reduce the burden of the financial risk. So, now let us understand what is the meaning of the word insurance. Then, insurance is a device by which the loss likely to be caused by an uncertain event is spread over a number of persons who are exposed to it and who prepare to insure themselves against such an event. So, it is a device through which the loss likely to be caused by an uncertain event. So, we don't know when that event will occur, whether it may occur or it may not occur. So, it is something which is very, very uncertain. So, our property is there, but then there is no guarantee that the property will be safe for the next 100 years or it may be safe for the next 100 years because we don't know. And as you know, life is full of uncertainties. So, because of that, so what do we do? So, in order to protect our property against such uncertain events, we use this insurance. Now, how does this insurance work? So, just like we own property, there are a lot of persons who will be owning properties. So, all will be subject to the same kind of risk. So, what do we do is, so we will just spread this loss over a number of people. So, in other words, this uncertain event, the loss caused by the uncertain event is spread over a number of persons who are exposed to it and who prepare to insure themselves against such event. So, in other words, the loss which we had to bear by single-handedly, so it will be distributed over a number of persons. So, that is what we call as insurance, or the financial aspect of it at least will be taken care of. Not the psychological or the other aspects, but only the financial loss which we will have to bear. So, that will be taken care of by the insurance companies. Now, next, let us understand what is actually insurance. So, it is a contract or agreement under which one party agrees in return for a consideration to pay an agreed amount of money to another party to make a loss, damage, or injury to something of value in which the insured has pecuniary interest as a result of some uncertain event. So it is a contract or agreement. So any insurance is a contract or agreement between whom? It is between the insurer and the insured. So the LIC company will assure the insured that it will compensate for the financial loss caused due to some uncertain event. So it is a guarantor for the loss. So whenever there is a financial loss or whenever there is the death of a person, then the insurance company will just compensate for the financial loss. So that kind of agreement between the insured and the insurance company is called as a contract. So one party agrees in return for a consideration. So will the insurance company simply pay us money? No, it will not, unless and until you just buy a policy and pay the premium regularly. Only then the insurance company will give you the money. Otherwise, it will not compensate. So you have to follow the rules and regulations laid down by the insurance company in order to be compensated for the financial loss that you have suffered. So whether it is the life insurance or the general insurance, so whatever is the financial loss suffered by the insured, that will be compensated by the insurance company. Then next, we should also understand that insured should have pecuniary interest. Now, what is this pecuniary interest or the insurable interest? So, this pecuniary interest means in case there is a damage to that asset, the insured will have to suffer the loss. So, that is what we call as the insurable interest or the pecuniary interest. Suppose it is a case of life insurance, then suppose that person is the sole breadwinner of the family, and if he meets death, then the family members will have to bear the loss of that. So to compensate for the financial loss of that person, the insurance will compensate that money, whatever he has paid, whatever it has taken from him, collected from him as premium, so that will be paid on the death of the person or the expiry of the policy, whichever is earlier. So we should understand that insurance company will compensate only when we purchase the insurance and only when we pay the installments or the premiums regularly. Then next, let us have a look at what are the features of the insurance policy. Now, the first feature, the agreement or contract is put in writing and is known as policy. So whatever the agreement which is entered into between the insurance company and the insured, so that contract is called as the policy, and the person whose risk is insured is called insured, and the firm which insures the risk of loss is known as the insurer. So the insurance company will be the insurer, and the person who buys the policy and protects himself against the risk, he will be the insured. And we can also call the LIC company as the insurer or the assurance underwriter. So the insurance company is a guarantor for any losses suffered by that person, that is called as the insured. Okay, next, let us have a look into the functions of insurance. Now, the first function of insurance is providing certainty. So we all know that life is full of uncertainties and we don't know when we may have to meet with some unfortunate events. Now, this insurance company is coming as a boon. So it is coming as a protection for all the risks which we will have to bear. So it is giving us protection against that uncertain event which will result in a financial loss. So it is giving us guarantee that it will compensate for any of the financial losses suffered by the insured. So it is providing us with certainty. If it is a case of life insurance, then the dependents of that family will not suffer, as the insurance company will be paying some money, and with that money the family can tide over that loss of the breadwinner. So in this way, it is giving us certainty to life. Then the second one is protection. So with the help of this insurance, we can get protection to our properties, or it can also give protection to our dependent members of the family. Now, what sort of a protection are we getting? So as you all know, the business involves lot of investment in fixed assets and current assets, and all these assets and properties have to be properly protected. So whether it is the stock in trade, or whether it is the finished goods, or whether it is the raw materials or the plant and machinery used, or it is the building itself, so everything has to be protected. So only if we have proper insurance to cover all these properties only, then the business will run efficiently. Suppose because of some uncertain event, then there is a loss or damage to these properties, then the business will have to suffer lot of losses, and this no businessman is ready to bear. So that is why he will just get the property insured, and he will be paying premium regularly to the insurance company so that his property is protected. In the same way, the case of life insurance, so if he is the sole breadwinner of the family, then he will get his life insured so that the dependents will not suffer in case of any untimely death. Then the next one is risk sharing. Now, what do we mean by risk sharing? So all of us are exposed to various kinds of risk. So this risk which we are exposed to, so the financial aspect of the risk, at least, it will be shared among all the policy holders. So the insurance company will be collecting premium from all the policy holders who have just enrolled with the insurance company, and as such, suppose all the policy holders will not have to face such uncertain events, and if any one person faces such uncertain event, then all the policy holders' money will be utilized to compensate this one person. So there is a sharing of risk among all the policy holders. Then the last one is it assists in capital formation. Now we all know that insurance company is nothing but a finance company. So why we call it as a financial institution? Because it will be collecting lot of premium from all the policy holders, and as you know, this is nothing but just protection against the risk involved by all the policy holders. And then whatever money it will be collecting from all the policy holders, it will be investing in various sectors of the economy. So whatever money it is collecting from the policy holders, it will be utilized for the economic development of the nation. So as and when the policy holders pay premium, so it will be usually out of their savings which they will be paying the premium, and as such, this savings will be converted into capital formation, as the LIC or the insurance companies will be investing such money in the economic development sectors of the country. So these are the functions of insurance. Then let us have a look into the fundamental principles of insurance. So the first principle of insurance is utmost good faith. So what do we mean by utmost good faith? So the insurance principle or the principles of insurance are based on the utmost good faith between whom? Between the insurer and the insured. So whenever there is a policy for life insurance, the insured person who wants to get his life insured, so he will have to disclose all aspects of his health. So he will have to disclose what is his health condition, he is suffering from any of the ailments. So all these things will have to be provided to the insurance company. And then again, if it is a general insurance, then all the details about the property which is held by the insured has to be disclosed to the insurance company. And this principle says that both should act in good faith. The LIC company should trust the insured, and the insured should also trust the LIC company. So in this way, there should be mutual trust and good faith between both the parties entering into the contract. Only then the company will be able to compensate for the loss. But if later on, if the company feels that the insured had hidden some facts, then there will be this breach of utmost good faith. So, in order to avoid this, it is best for the person who wants to take up the insurance policy to just clear all the facts regarding his health and also about his property, so that he does not violate this principle of utmost good faith. So, this principle of utmost good faith extends for a very long period, because the insurer will be a premium payer for up to 10 to 20 years, after which the insurance company will be paying the money. So, for a very long time, this insurance company has to retain the trust of all its policy holders, and as such, the policy holders also have to have a trust in the insurance companies. Then, the second principle of insurance tells us that insurable interest. Now, let us have a look into what is the meaning of the word insurable interest. So, insurable interest means it is nothing but pecuniary interest. What is this pecuniary interest? In other words, the person who is getting the property insured, so he will have to bear a loss if some damage occurs to the property. So, in that case, so if he has to bear the loss of damage because of that property, then we call it as insurable interest. Now, this insurable interest should be there at the time of taking the policy. Now, this insurable interest, any person who has insurable interest in the policy can take up the insurance policy on that particular property. He need not be the owner of that property. For example, a trustee of a company can also just take an insurance on the property for which he is the trustee. In the same way, any one of the partners can take an insurance on the assets of the property. So, in this way, we have understood what is the meaning of the word insurable interest. Then, the next principle of insurance is principle of indemnity. Now, what do we mean by indemnity? So, indemnity means compensating for the loss which is incurred. So, the principles of life insurance clearly tells us that the insurance company will just compensate for the exact amount of loss which is suffered by the insured. So, whenever there is a damage to the property, the insurance officials will come and inspect the damage, whatever is there, and they will assess the value of the damage, what part of the property has been damaged, and then they will have to compensate that kind of loss. So, this is what we mean by principle of indemnity. So, the insured will be compensated for any loss or damage to the property, and that value of that loss will be assessed by the valuer of the insurance company. But this principle of indemnity will not hold good for life insurance. Why? Because we cannot just assess the value of any person or any individual. So, depending on the kind of policy the person has taken and depending on the premium which he has paid to the insurance company, the life insurance company will be paying the entire sum assured on that person's life. Then, next principle is principle of proximate cause. Now, let us have a look into what is the meaning of the word proximate cause. According to this principle, the insurance company is entitled to compensate to the insured only when the loss has been occurred due to the causes stated in the policy. So, whenever the loss is caused by any other causes, then the insurance company is not liable to pay any compensation. For example, you have a fire insurance for the goods, but then the loss of goods is due to just water. So, the rainwater has just seeped into and the goods have been destroyed. Then the insurance company is not liable to pay any compensation to that insured party because that party had taken up fire insurance. But if the loss had occurred due to fire, then the insurance company would have compensated such loss. But then if the loss is due to water and seepage of rainwater, then the insurance company will say that it has no obligation to compensate for such losses because that cause is not appropriate. So whatever is the proximate cause stated in the policy, so that will be taken into consideration and not the actual one. Suppose we have both marine insurance and fire insurance, then the insurance company would have compensated for such losses. Then next principle of insurance is principle of subrogation. Let us understand what is the principle of subrogation. It refers to the right of the insured company to stand in place of the insured once there is a settlement of claim. Suppose there has been an uncertain event and the property has been damaged, then the insurance company will compensate for that damaged property to the insured, and then it will just confiscate the damaged property. So why this is being done? Because there should not be any concept of profit. The insured should not have any profit because of this insurance policy. So whatever is the extent of damage which he has, only that should be taken care of, and in the long run the insured should not have any profit in this kind of insurance contracts. Then the next is the principle of contribution. Now, what do we mean by principle of contribution? Suppose one property has been insured by 2 or 3 insurance companies. One single property, the property is of a very high value, and such a property has been insured by 2 or 3 companies. Then such a property, if it has been damaged, then all the insurance companies who have been insured that property, they will have to pay for the compensation, so in proportion to the policy held by them. So in other words, if one property, a single property has been insured by 2 or 3 insurance companies, then all the 3 of them are liable to compensate for the loss of that particular property. So it will be in proportion to the premium paid by that particular person who has insured that property. So this is the principle of contribution. But this principle of contribution will not be applicable in case of life insurance. So in case of a life insurance, the person can take any number of policies, and all the policies, whatever the amount he has insured himself, so all the companies have to pay that particular amount in which the person has taken the policy. Then the last principle is the principle of mitigation. Now this principle states that the person who has insured the property has to take necessary steps to just minimize the losses due to that particular uncertain event. So just because the property has been insured, so he should not neglect in his duties. He should not just wait and watch the fire to just consume the entire property. He should take steps to just douse the fire, and then he should call the insurance company. So it is the duty of the insured to see that he protects his property, he protects his life, and in the long run we should see that he is responsible for that particular property. So just because the property has been insured, he just cannot neglect his property. So this is the principle of mitigation. Now, in case any of the insured person does not take any step to just mitigate the losses due to that particular property, he may have to lose his insurance cover. So it will be a breach of principle of mitigation. I hope you have all understood the various principles of insurance. Now, let us have a look into what are the different types of insurance. Now, the different types of insurance in this, the first one is life insurance. Now, let us understand what is the meaning of the word life insurance. So, life insurance may be defined as a contract in which the insurer, in consideration of a certain premium, either in a lump sum or by other periodical payments, agrees to pay the assured or to the person for whose benefit the policy is taken, the assured the sum of money on the happening of a specific event contingent on the human life or at the expiry of the certain period. Now, if you can just understand this, so it may be defined as a contract in which the insurer, in consideration for a certain premium, so the insurance company is the insurer and it will be just in consideration for a certain premium, that is the insured has to pay a certain premium. So the premium can be paid in lump sum. So one lump sum he can pay the amount in lump sum and get his life insured, or by other periodical payments. So either he can also pay it half yearly, quarterly or annually. So depending on his convenience, agrees to pay to the assured. So the insurance company has agreed to pay to the assured, the person for whose benefit the policy is taken, assured sum of money. So the insurance company has agreed to just pay that sum of money on the happening of a specified event. So in case of life insurance, it may be the happening of death, or it may be the happening of any accident, or it may be the happening of any accidents as such. So which is contingent on the human life or the expiry of a certain period. So you have taken an insurance policy for 20 years and for 20 years you are hale and healthy, then the insurance company will have to compensate that money. So after 20 years it will pay you the money or the death, whichever is earlier. So this is the contract of life insurance. So the person whose life is secured by insurance, so he will receive the money which he has saved all over his years. Then this agreement or contract which contains all the terms and conditions put in writing, and such a document is called the policy. So whenever there is a contract of agreement between the insurance company and the insured, so it will be put in writing and all the terms and conditions will be specified by the insurance company, and as such the insured will have to put a signature, and then that kind of a document we call it as policy, and the person whose life is insured is called as the assured. Then next, the insurance company is the insurer and the consideration paid by the assured is the premium. The premium can be paid periodically in installments. So whatever I have told you, it has been repeated here. So whenever there is a policy or there is a contract of insurance between the company and the assured, then he will have to pay regularly an amount called as the premium. Then the life insurance also encourages savings, as the amount of premium has to be paid regularly. It thus provides a sense of security to the insured and his dependents. So this life insurance is through the premium collection, it is encouraging savings among the people. They get a sense of security because of the savings they have done, and he and his dependents will have this financial security. Now, let us understand the elements of life insurance. Now, the life insurance contract must have all the essentials of a valid contract. Now, we know what are the essentials of a valid contract. So, it should be a contract between two parties who are equal, and certain elements like offer and acceptance, free consent, capacity to enter into a contract, lawful consideration, lawful object must be present while the contract is to be valid. So, we are just like any other contract, business contract, the life insurance contract between the insurance company and the insured. So, it will contain all those elements itself. Then, the contract of life insurance is a contract of utmost good faith. So, the insurance company should trust the insurer and the insured should trust the insurance company. Then, let us have a look into the types of insurance here. The first type of insurance is the life insurance. The second type of insurance is the general insurance. Now, In this general insurance itself, we have three types, that is marine insurance, fire insurance and other insurances. Now, what do we mean by marine insurance? What do we mean by fire insurance? We will just take it in the later part of the session. But then we also have this burglary insurance. Now, what is this burglary insurance? It is nothing but securing or giving protection for your business property or the house property, whatever you own. So the property which you are having, it is exposed to the risk through burglary or theft, etc. So in order to protect the house or business property, we can always get it insured through the burglary insurance. Then the next kind of insurance is cattle insurance. This cattle insurance is useful in the rural areas where the people have lot of domesticated animals. It can be given for bulls, goats, sheep, etc. Then the next type of insurance is crop insurance. So we all know how the farmers are suffering whenever there is lot of rain also, the farmer will suffer, and when there is no rain or drought also, the farmer will have to suffer. So this kind of a crop insurance is given when the farmer has an experience of failure of his crops. So he can just get his crop insured. Then the next one is sports insurance. So this kind of a sports insurance is given to sportsmen who are engaged in various sports activities. So this kind of a sport insurance ensures that his life is protected. Then next one is Amartya Shiksha Yojana. The next kind of insurance is Amartya Shiksha Yojana. So this Shiksha Yojana will just help the dependent children of the insured. Suppose the insured has any life insurance, and then if he meets with an accident and then because of which he is incapable of earning money, then his dependent children's education will be taken up by this particular insurance company. Then Rajeshwari Mahila Kalyan Bima Yojana. So this kind of an insurance company protects the women members of the family. So they are protected against any death due to ladies related issues. Then we also have the health insurance. Now what do we mean by health insurance? Health insurance protects the people against all kinds of diseases. So whenever there is a need for hospitalization due to any disease, then this insurance company will compensate all the hospital bills, etc., and also the surgery bills and doctor's bills, etc. Then the last type of insurance is the vehicle insurance. Now what is this vehicle insurance? Is nothing but the motor insurance. So it will compensate the loss due to any vehicle accident. So the person who has caused the accident, he is liable to pay to the other party some amount of compensation or loss to his vehicle. So that loss will be undertaken by the insurance companies in case he has an insurance. So these are the different kinds of insurance. Now let us have a look into the different types of life insurance policies. Now the different types of life insurance policies is, the first one is whole life policy. Now the first kind of insurance policy is whole life policy. So this kind of insurance policy covers the entire life of the insured person, and then the compensation will be paid only when the death of the person. So the insured person will have to pay the premium to the LIC for a long period of 20 to 30 years, and after that also, if the person survives, so he will not get any money, but then his dependents will get the money only after he expires. Then the second kind of insurance policy is Endowment Life Assurance Policy. The second kind of policy is Endowment Life Assurance Policy. Now, in this kind of a policy, the insurance company undertakes to pay the compensation after a specific period or the death of that particular person, whichever is earlier. So whatever is the money which has been paid by that particular insured person, so that will be given to him after a fixed period of 20 to 30 years or his death, whichever is earlier. Then the next one is joint life policy. Now this kind of a joint life policy can be taken up by two or more persons. Usually in a partnership firm, the partners can take a joint life policy and the premium can be paid by either of them or all of them together. So in this kind of a joint life policy, suppose if it is a husband and wife take this joint life policy, if one of them expires, then the survivor will get the amount on this policy. If it is a partnership firm, then the partnership, if one of the partner expires, the other surviving partners will receive the amount of this joint life policy. Then the next policy is annuity policy. Now, under this policy, the insured will receive the money after a certain age in monthly, quarterly, half-yearly or yearly payments. So, the insured may have make a single payment of a large sum to the insurance company, and once he reaches a certain age, the insurance company will make payments regularly. So, this kind of annuity policy will be utilized by the salaried persons who will be not in a position to earn the livelihood after a certain age or after retirement. So, this will be a regular source of income for their expenditure. Then the last one is children's endowment policy. Now, this kind of a policy can be taken by the parents on the life of their children. So, to meet the educational expenses of the children or also for the marriage of the daughters. So, this kind of insurance, through this kind of insurance, they will be able to secure the future of their children. So, these are the various kinds of life insurance policies. Now, let us have a look into what is the meaning of the word fire insurance. Now, this fire insurance is a contract whereby the insurer, in consideration of the premium paid, undertakes to make good any loss or damage caused by fire during a specified period up to the amount specified in the policy. So, as you can see the image here, so the property is set on fire and the fire is just raging like anything. Now, this fire insurance is a contract whereby the insurer, the insurance company will make good the loss in consideration for the premium paid. So, depending on the premium paid and depending on the value of the property, the insurance company will be making the compensation. So, undertakes to make good any loss or damage caused by fire during a specified period. So, during a specified period, that is the period for 1 year it can be insured, after that it has to be renewed. So, up to the amount specified in the policy. So, whatever amount is specified in the policy, only that amount will be compensated by the insurance company. Then, next, the fire insurance company must claim for loss must satisfy the two following conditions. So, there must be actual loss and the fire must be accidental and not intentional. So, we should understand that there are two important clauses in fire insurance. First one is actual loss should be there. So, the person who has insured the property, he should have actual loss because of that property. And second one is the fire must be accidental and not intentional. So, just because he has insured his property, he cannot set fire to his own property. It should not be unintentional and it should be accidental. So, they are the two important clauses for this fire insurance. Then next, let us have a look into what are the elements of this fire insurance. The main elements of fire insurance are the insured must have insurable interest in the subject matter of the insurance. That is, so in case of fire insurance, the insured must have a loss. He must suffer a loss of damage because of damage to that particular property. So, in other words, he should have insurable interest in the property. property. Then second one is the contract of fire insurance is the contract of utmost good faith. So there should be utmost good faith between the insurer and the insured. So the insured, just because he has got his property insured, he should not neglect his property. He should have proper security measures to see that his property is fully protected. Like he should have fire extinguishers wherever is possible, and he should also install smoke alarms wherever it is possible to see that the property is fully protected, and then the property, if there is any damage to the property, he will be alerted in time. Then the next element of fire insurance is the contract of fire insurance is a contract of strict indemnity. Now what is the strict indemnity? So he will be compensated for the losses only up to the value which has been assessed by the insurance company. So the insured cannot make profit out of this type of a contract. Then the insurer is liable to compensate only when the fire is the proximate cause of damage or loss. So the insurer will be compensating the loss only when the fire is the main cause of the loss to the property. But if there is any other cause because of which the property has been damaged, the insurer company will not have any obligation to pay such money. Then next, now let us see what do we mean by marine insurance. Now marine insurance, it is a contract or an agreement whereby the insurer undertakes to indemnify the insured in the manner and to the extent thereby agreed against marine losses. So just like a life insurance and a fire insurance, we should understand that marine insurance also is a contract whereby the insurer undertakes to indemnify the insured. So whoever has purchased a marine policy, so he will be the insured, and he will have to be compensated by the insurance company for any marine losses. Now, what are the various marine losses? It provides protection against loss by marine perils or perils of the sea. Now, what do we mean by marine perils or perils of the sea? So, it may be because of the export and import trade. We all know that because of the external trade itself, the country is earning lot of foreign exchange. So, whatever goods we are exporting to foreign countries, it will have to go by the ship itself. And if there is any damage to the ship on its way, then the exporter will have to bear all the losses, and so he can just protect himself when he has this marine insurance. Now, let us see what are the various perils in the marine. So, marine perils are collision of ship with the rock or ship attacked by the enemies, fire and captured by pirates, and actions of the captains and crew of the ship. Now, this marine insurance will be given whenever there is a collision of ship with the rock. So, when the ship is moving in the ocean and if there is a sudden collision with the rock, then also the property, the insured will get a compensation for that. Or ship attacked by the enemies. Suppose there are pirates who have they attack the ship and they just run away with all the goods, then also the insured will get compensation. Then actions of the captains and crew of the ship. Suppose the captain and crew of the ship have behaved in a reckless or a careless manner due to which the ship has been damage, then such kind of damages will be compensated by the insurance company. Then next, what are the three kinds of things which are involved in a marine insurance? The first one is ship or hull insurance. The second one is cargo insurance. Third one is freight insurance. Now, let us have a look into what is the meaning of ship or hull insurance. Now, this is insurance for the ship. So, whenever the goods are placed in the ship and the ship meets with some damage, then the insured will be compensated for any damage to the ship. So, such kind of a policy, we call it as the ship or hull insurance. Now, the second kind of insurance is the cargo insurance. So, it will indemnify the insured for any losses to the cargo which is placed on the ship. So, the cargo may, whenever the ship with the cargo enters a new port, and if in that port, if there is any theft to the cargo or if there is any loss to the goods, then the insured will be compensated by the insurance company. Then the last kind of insurance is the freight insurance. Suppose the ship has met with an accident and it does not reach the port on time, then the shipping company will have to forego the freight charges. In such case, the freight insurance will cover the freight charges of that shipping company. So in this way, we see that the marine insurance has been contributing for the economic development of the nation. So only when the goods are properly insured only we can have this export-import trade, and through this export-import trade we are able to have this economic development of the nation. Then let us have a comparison between the three kinds of insurance, that is the life, fire and marine insurance. Now, the first column we have the basis of difference. The second column we have the life insurance, fire insurance and the marine insurance. Now, in this first one, let us see what is the subject matter. So, in case of life insurance, the subject matter is the human life, whereas in case of fire insurance, it is the physical property or the asset of that particular individual. But in case of marine insurance, it is the ship, cargo or the freight that is the subject matter. Then next, let us have a look into what are the elements here. So the life insurance has the elements of protection and investment or both. So if you are investing in a life insurance policy, then it will be an investment because you will be getting lot of money in return for the whatever you have paid as premium. Then next, fire insurance has only the element of protection and not the element of investment. So here also we have only the protection. So the insurance company will just compensate the loss, but there is no aspect of investment in both fire insurance and marine insurance. Then next one is insurable interest. So the insurable interest must be present at the time of effecting the policy, but need not be necessary at the time when the claim falls due. So in case of life insurance, only when the policy holder is making the policy or when he is purchasing the policy, insurable interest is necessary, but then afterwards it is not necessary. But then here, in case of fire insurance, the insurable interest must be present both at the time of effecting as well as when the claim falls due. So it should be there, and here the insurable interest must be present at the time when the claim falls due or at the time of loss only. So we can see that when we have a comparison, how the three kinds of insurances are differentiated. Then next one is duration. The life insurance policy usually exceeds a year and is taken for longer periods ranging from 5 to 30 years or the whole life. So the life insurance is the longest kind of a insurance which will be taken from minimum of 5 years to a maximum of 30 years. But then in case of fire insurance, it does not exceed 1 year. So it will be taken for a maximum period of 1 year only, whereas a marine insurance is for one period of voyage or mixed. So only for one period or one voyage, whichever is, so they have a combination of both. Then next, the principle of indemnity. So life insurance is not based on the principle of indemnity. The sum assured is paid either on the happening of the certain event or the maturity of the policy. So there is no principle of indemnity. It will not occur for this kind of a life insurance. But then fire insurance is a contract of indemnity. The insured can claim only the actual amount of loss from the insurer. The loss due to fire is indemnified subject to the maximum limit of the policy amount. Whatever is the maximum limit of the policy amount, only that will be indemnified to the insured. So here also it is a contract of indemnity. So the insured can claim the market value of the ship and the cost of goods destroyed, and the loss will be indemnified. But in case of marine insurance, the insured can claim the market value of the ship as well as the cost of the goods destroyed at the sea. Then next one, loss measurement. So in case of life insurance, we cannot measure the loss, but then in case of fire insurance and marine insurance, the loss is measurable. Then the next basis is surrender value or paid up value. So life insurance has a surrender value and paid up value. So whenever you feel that you don't need a policy, you can always surrender that policy to the insurance company and take the amount. But in case of fire insurance, it does not have any surrender value or a paid up value. So even in a marine insurance, we do not have this concept of surrender value and paid up value. Then next one is the policy amount. One can insure for any amount in life insurance. So whatever is the strength of the financial condition of the insurer, depending on his financial condition, he can just take up a life insurance policy. But then in case of fire insurance, the amount of policy cannot be more than the value of the subject matter. So whatever is the value of the property, on that value only we have to take the policy. So in case of marine insurance, the amount of policy can be the market value of the ship or the cargo. Then the next one, contingency of risk. So there is an element of certainty. The event, that is the death of the maturity or the policy, is bound to happen. Therefore, a claim will be present. So in case of life insurance, the claim will be present because the death is certain, or the maturity period, whatever is earlier, that is certain. But then in case of fire insurance, that is destruction by fire may not happen. So there is an element of uncertainty and there may be no claims. In case of fire insurance, there may be no claim if there is no uncertain event happening here. The similar is the case for the marine company. So marine insurance, that is the loss at sea may not occur and there may be no claim and there is an element of uncertainty. So in fire insurance and marine insurance, we find that there is an element of uncertainty, but in case of life insurance, it is certainly to be claimed. With this, we come to the end of this session. Hope you have all understood what this session. Thank you.